Hi, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm in a whole new location. I have moved house and I now have the beloved bookshelves that I've been talking about to everybody in my life for months now. In my old house, I didn't really have enough space for books, and all my new books were just basically sitting on a pile on the ground. So, one of my dreams was to get a house that had space for a little office for myself to do all my writing and all my work from home, and that I was going to get a big bookshelf to fit all of my books. And here we are. I've done it. I have vlogged the process of transforming this office and building these bookshelves. So without further ado, let's cut to me from a few days ago and I'll take you through bringing this into existence. Hi everyone, I'm here. I kind of have COVID or some kind of virus. Not the best time to be setting up my office, but I'm determined to get it done. So without further ado, welcome to my office. It's full of boxes. All of these boxes here are my books. Some of these are desk things, but also some other books, non-fiction books and such. I've also got lots of like memorabilia. There's some like Harry Potter posters, which I don't really like anymore, so I might just take them to the dump. And these are my bookshelves. I bought 3. This is kind of what it looks like. I hope they're not this tall. I was under the impression that they were about up to here, and my plan is to have like 3 along this wall. That's the only plug socket, so I bought like an extra long thing to run along the back. So if I do 3 along here, might kind of cut off this corner, don't know, or I could do 1 on this little wall and then 2 here. Might cut out the light, but maybe that's not such a bad thing if I get a cool lamp and put it in this corner here. Don't know. So come back when I'm building it. Maybe I'm not going to be as dying of COVID as I am right now, but yeah, it's Boxland right now. But I have decorated, so this was all cream with like a brown wall before. I like took down these curtains and this TV thing and painted it all last week when we got the keys before moving in. So that's all done. It's a nice kind of coral colour, and I've got this desk. Used to have a bit of a small like modern desk before, but this is kind of like an old wooden bureau that was my boyfriend's, and I've just kind of taken it, to be honest. So that's that. Let's come back when I'm building. Maybe I'll do like a time lapse of me building. Maybe I won't. I was going to vlog honestly like the whole move-in process, but I was ill last week when I was moving in, and then I got better despite pushing my body to its physical limits. And now I'm sick again, went back to work, you know, got back into it, and then my body was like, absolutely not, are you kidding me? We need a holiday to recover from the holiday. So sick again, but feeling a little bit better today. I'm just going to veg out tonight, to be honest. Shower. I look horrible, but I'm going to shower. And then tomorrow, on Sunday in the day, I'm going to get building. And I'm so excited to unpack all these HelloFresh boxes of books. Not sponsored. I have been using HelloFresh for a long time, so they could sponsor me. That would be very nice of them for a channel with like 30 subscribers. It's called micro-influencing. So I've just micro-influenced people to get HelloFresh and bookshelves. So you're welcome, big companies. Here are the instructions I had to work from. They were a little bit vague, but I am actually pretty good at putting together furniture if I do say so myself, so I managed to make sense of them pretty quickly. However, what I did not manage to do was like build this by myself. Quickly, I realised that due to the height of them, I was going to need 2 pairs of hands, so I roped in my boyfriend to help me. We kind of struggled through the first one, and it's not really a big office, so there was not a lot of space to film. So we did that off camera, we spent the time figuring it out, and we took about half an hour, and then we took a little bit of a break. We erected the first one, as you can see in this video, and then built the second one pretty quickly within like 10-15 minutes. So it was then finally that I felt the confidence to set up the camera and do a bit of a film, a bit of a time lapse of me prepping and then me building the 3rd bookshelf with Tristan. And within no time at all, voila, we have my bookshelves. Hello! So I don't know how much of the building the bookshelves footage I included because it might have all been really bad, but the bookshelves are built. They are looking quite good. It's 3 different bookshelves. It's all just cheap shit. It's basically made of like plasterboard with like a covering on it to make it look like real wood, which it's not. It's very like flimsy. So if you've got the money, buy better quality than what I did. But they're up. They will do the job for the moment until I can afford nice custom bookshelves. And my boyfriend was very helpful in helping me put them up because they're pretty tall. They're like almost exactly the same height as me. So doing that myself would have been really hard, and he had an electric drill and it just made it so much quicker. So maybe you've seen some of that footage. Also got this rug, which was my boyfriend's. Used this double-sided tape to stick it all down to the floor, and now I'm going to start unpacking all of these boxes of books and getting it all nice. I should film it for the vlog, but to be honest, I just kind of want to listen to like a podcast on my phone and not be filmed. I've got COVID, I look like shit, so I'm gonna just do that, and then maybe I'll film a few clips of me doing it or something, and then I'll come back with the finished product. Sorry for moving around and making the lighting all dodgy. Professional vlogger, I am not. Okay, see you with the bookshelves in a minute. Okay, so I'm finally done. I'm all sweaty, not very attractive on camera, but it's done. The books are unpacked. I've got my cute lamps on. My random stuff is in my desk drawers, electronics, etc. And I've got some like memorabilia to kind of organise over here still. But it's safe, it's in a place. Now I just need to get all my art in frames and on the wall and get my chair back in here and we'll be all good. So let me take you through a little bit of a tour. We've got some middle grade and then some young adult, mix of what I have and haven't read. Then we've got like Fourth Wing, some hardbacks, Hunger Games, and then some things I've not read yet in the fantasy kind of dystopian genre. And then we've got like all my Heartstoppers and Alice Oseman stuff, some Emily Henry, some cozy kind of Japanese and Korean things, a few random favourites and a few random favourite hardbacks. Then we've got some young adult that I haven't read, some adult that I haven't read, and then some adult that I have read. Not very good at panning the camera, sorry. Then we have some thrillers that I have read, some dystopian thriller horror that I've not read, and this duology here, some dark academia, and then some classics. I think I missed it out, but obviously we've got the Sarah J Maas shelf. A little bit of extra space for an extra book maybe, if it comes out. And then over here, we've got some poetry and some miscellaneous kind of non-fiction, philosophy, that kind of stuff. Some stuff about writing. Again, some businessy stuff, some ghost stories, some stuff about publishing and writing. And then we've got random hardbacks that don't really fit. So we've got some fiction, we've got some non-fiction, we've got some like YouTuber books. Then it all just kind of descends from here. So we've got some colouring in stuff, some blank notebooks, some stats and animal behaviour, equine behaviour books, and the magazine that I was published in, and some random journals. Then we've got these really cool books, for example this Hamilton, I'll show you another time, but just the cool books. Feel bad putting them down there, but that's kind of where they fit. And then just some music, loose sheet music, plays and music books, and then just blank. So we've got lots of space for new books. Hello, welcome back to the present. I still have COVID. I know I mentioned it quite a lot in my clips, but yeah, still have it. You can hear it in my voice. It's very tired. But I'm just too excited. I have to film with this thing and give you a bit of a better tour with my lighting and my phone setup. All nice, a microphone for you. Don't say I don't spoil you. And I thought we could spend a bit of time without all of the chaos of the handheld vlogging. I thought it might be nice to do a bit of a bookshelf tag. So I looked around online to see if I could find any to follow, and they seemed a little bit boring. It was like, what's your longest book? What's your shortest book? What's your newest book or your oldest book? And Like, I don't know if I could be bothered. So what I'll do instead is I'll go through some of the books on this shelf and then just like pick out some of the interesting ones, and it's gonna be fairly random. But maybe there'll be books that have like cool features about them. So where should we start? I think I'll start right behind me. Here we've got quite a lot of Alice Oseman books. I am actually a very big fan of Solitaire, and this is my new cool 10-year anniversary edition of Solitaire. Not read this copy yet, but I have read the book like 10 or 12 times. I don't know why, I just love it so much. This is my old battered copy. As you can see, it's very dog eared. It's all peeling off the cover, and it's just very well read and very well loved. It's got some yellow staining here. I don't know what that is, but this book has been all over the place. I actually sat last year and like read it all in one day. Maybe it was a bit of a depression day. A little bit of a depressing book, bit of a depressing main character. So if you're in that kind of headspace, this could be kind of a cathartic read, or it could put you further into depression. Uh, but I do love it very much, and I love my new version of it. I'm not usually one for buying multiple copies of the same book, but in this instance, it just had to be done. I also bought her new copies of This Winter and Nick and Charlie because I love her artwork. I love, yeah, they're just really cool covers. And my versions of these books before were just ebooks on my Kindle, on my phone. So I thought they deserve to be in a proper copy because I will reread these. I've reread these, not as much as the main novel, but a fair amount. My next coolest book on this shelf is my copy of The Hobbit. Very old, very classic copy. It's probably the oldest book I have on this shelf, together with Lord of the Rings, which at the moment is in Glasgow and will be coming down to live on these shelves eventually. But this copy is very special to me. My dad read it to me as he read The Lord of the Rings, and he's no longer with us, so it's very sentimental, and I've got very fond memories of us together reading this. Inside, it's got really cool old maps of Middle Earth, which I really love. And throughout the book, there's also really amazing classic artwork of the scenes in the novel. And this one is probably one of my favourites. It's the one of Smug on his treasure trove. And you can see little Bilbo invisible because of the ring. Moving on from fiction for the moment, some of my coolest books are not just straight up fiction. I've got a collection of other genres over here. Something I bought recently was this cool Penguin Classics edition of Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night. It's a collection of poetry by Dylan Thomas. I only have read this main poem by him, I've not read the others, so I thought I would pick this up. Very small, very easy to read, and Penguin were doing a nice collection of these archived poetry books, all with the same kind of cover design. And I treated myself to it. I also have this cool little hardback poetry book. It's called Poems for Tortured Souls, and it's a collection of poetry inspired by the works of Taylor Swift. Or it would probably be more accurate to say it's a collection of poetry that inspires Taylor Swift in her songwriting. So this book has the poems arranged into different collections. So we've got folklore, we've got love, heartache, revenge, and peace, which encapsulates her music quite well, I feel. I've read some of this. It's all a collection of like really classic poets. You've got William Wordsworth, you've got Emily Dickinson, there's even passages from Shakespeare and Lewis Carroll. And the artwork is just so pretty. Something else that I love is philosophy. I have this book all about The Last of Us and the philosophy of it. It takes all of these ethical questions that get asked in the series and answers it through the lens of what happens in The Last of Us. Don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't played the game or watched the show, but trolley problem style questions come up, questions about revenge, things like that, just to keep it very general. Not read it yet, but looking forward to reading it. Another philosophy book I love is The Pig That Wants to Be Eaten, and this is a collection of 99 thought experiments, and it's a great way to learn more about all the different kinds of philosophy. And it's quite a fun exercise to read all of the different scenarios and puzzle them out for yourself, and then reading what different philosophers would say in response to this question that it poses. I could spend all day just like going through all of the books on this shelf, honestly, because I mean, we've got some books about North Korea, we've got a book about environmentalism, we've got a book that is a psychiatrist talking about 9 different patients. They're all very interesting case studies. This is a classic. You have to read this if you're interested in psychology. We've got The Better Angels of Our Nature, which is about violence, the history of violence in human society. We've got more philosophy, and we've got books about writing as well. We've got The Science of Storytelling, which is all about why stories make us human and how to tell them better. It uses the scientific approach to understand what actually makes a good story, and it is a very good read. And I also have this book, Monsters Among Us, which is written by a journalist talking to lots of people who have experienced dogmen, Bigfoot, portals, and things of the paranormal, of the cryptozoological, um, all things that are very strange, and it's a very interesting read. We could take a look at my hardbacks. I have this book, The Sin Eater. I think the cover is so beautiful on this. It's very autumnal, and it's a very interesting story that I would recommend, although it's been a number of years since I read it. It's about a girl who becomes a sin eater, and they are basically members of medieval society that were tasked with sitting by someone's deathbed and eating food that corresponded to that person's sins in their life. And by eating that food, they would like absolve that person of those sins. Something I didn't know about before, but was a real thing in medieval history in the UK and Europe, and it was an interesting read. I also have this amazing book. It's designed to look very old and very classic, and it's all about Hamilton. The pages are like cool, thick, and textured, and it basically takes us through the script of Hamilton, the script of all of the songs, and there's little footnotes in the margins here where Lin Manuel Miranda kind of explains some of the context and how he wrote it and some of the historical truths behind the lines. And it's very interesting. I haven't read it all yet, but it's just such a good collector's piece, and it was such an amazing gift from my boyfriend. And to keep things diverse, I also have a lot of equine behaviour books. I've got this one, Equine Behaviour in Mind, which is written and edited by some people I know, some colleagues. It takes you through lots of different aspects of the equestrian world and talks about them from the point of view of a behaviourist, the science of behaviour. It's all about applying behavioural science to the way we keep, work, and care for horses, making the world a better place for them ultimately. The longest book on my shelf is probably Kingdom of Ash, if we're going for fiction, or it could be The Better Angels of Our Nature, which is hefty. And the text on this is so small and the pages are so thin. So I think even though the page numbers might be lower than Kingdom of Ash, it works out being a longer book, words wise, and also just ease of reading. It's very easy to read, it's like very accessible, but it's not Kingdom of Ash easy. Smallest book is probably Why I Write by George Orwell, or if we go for fiction, it's probably They by Kate Dick. Oldest book on the shelf, probably The Hobbit, like we've discussed. Newest book on the shelf, it's actually Quicksilver, which I didn't really choose. It was one of those, like, it's a book wrapped up and it's a mystery, and you just buy it and then you unwrap it later and find out what you got. And I got this, so I guess I'm subjected to reading it now. But it was specifically a spicy fantasy romance genre mystery book kind of deal. So I suppose I can't be too mad. It could be worse. Maybe I'm being too harsh on this. Let me know if you liked it in the comments. But um, this is the newest book, and I don't know when I'm going to read it. It was at a medieval festival, and they had all these cool, like magic themed, witchy themed medieval stalls. And you know that way when you just like have to buy something, and it's like either I buy a literal sword or a flower crown or this mystery book, and the mystery book seemed the most practical. Although I don't know, swords are practical too, I guess. Flower crowns, crystals. Anyway, that's what I got. I also have a small collection of classics behind me. I've got Lolita, which I've not read yet, and I've got The Virgin Suicides, which I've not read yet. But I've read Fahrenheit 451, Brave New World, that's a cool copy, and I've also read The Bell Jar and To Kill a Mockingbird, obviously. This one was actually given to me as an award for excellence in music at school in 2010, 2011. So quite a little treasured possession. Not to brag or anything. And since we mentioned music, I have a couple of music books on my shelf. I've got this La La Land book, which is all piano songs. And I've also got this kind of easy Celtic collection for violin. So that's that. I could probably be here all day doing show and tell and talking about different books, but that might get a little bit boring. So I'm going to call it a day there. Let me know if you've got any questions about any of the books on my shelves. I may have read them, I may not. I may have liked them, I may have not. We shall see. All you have to do is ask. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more bookish content from me. I've nearly been doing this a whole year now, so I would really appreciate a little subscribe or even a like. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.